All in readiness for the Mayor's Cup here. And we'll get this game underway. Your callers will be Darryl Smith, Phil Hurd, Chris Andrews and Craig Biggs. The umpire holds the ball off to get this game well and truly underway. Down goes the bounce too, and it is Bradley up against Scholar. Scholar with the first tap down. Taps it straight to Bradley, though. He gets it over to King. King can't take the ball, but diving on it from South Adelaide's point of view was the player coming in there, and I think that was Chris Hall. We'll get that in a minute as he hands the ball back to the umpire. No, it wasn't.
Saunders,
actually. Saunders, Lee Saunders. Okay, down goes the bounce. Scholar against Bradley again. Scholar wins out again, gets it over to Jimmy Gowns. He can't take it. He's been wrapped up, and another bounce down will take place. The second, third bounce in a row in that midfield area. South Adelaide kicking to the northern end, and Central's kicking to the southern end with the aid of around about a 4 or 5 degrees. Again, it's Scholar in there. He does take it out again. It's 3 or 4 players. Tackle Jimmy Gowns. And another throwdown will take place here on 5 RPH football.
And we see Central Districts running with a pretty cool forward line. Luke Cowan there down in the forward 50. He's on Patrick Bolton now.
And the ruck goes to it again. A Scholar with an uncontested tap. Socceroo style Central Districts going forward. Now comes to the half-forward flank in front of the grandstand. Tap comes out. It goes out of bounds before Steinberner can get to the ball. Interesting. I mean, great confidence by Coach Robbie Pyman to put Lee Saunders' league debut, play in the under-18 championships, and under-19 Tompkins medalist last year, despite being eligible for the under-17s. And instead of putting him on the bench to get him in the game, he's put him in the midfield straight up. Throw-in comes in, pretty contest there, comes down to Hall. Hall, the short kick. Central Districts there through Hay should have the ball, but Hay is tackled pretty quickly, brought down to ground, and for about the 7th time already this afternoon in 1.5 minutes, we will have the umpires falling up.
Most of the midfielders being able to run fairly freely at the moment. No one picking up Clinton King.
Okay, Scholar in ruck again. Bradley gets it out to his teammate there. This time was
Kerry.
A quick kick up there by Kerry. Goes to centre-half forward. South running on the ball this time through Trent Mills. He gets a hurried kick up to the full forward area, but it's all Central's coming out. A good kick out there towards Hay, but it bounces over his head. Racing in the ball. Hay shows courage, knocks it over to his teammate. Steinberner's got it. He's got Thomas running for him this time. Loves to have a bounce, does Thomas. This time he doesn't. Kicks it up to the true half-forward area. No one can take the mark in there. Good tap up over the back there. Goes down to the Central's player in Cochrane. He turns around. First score on the board through the aid of Cochrane. He's kicked his first. Great play by Centrals. They go to one straight goal on the Magnets for Life scoreboard. South Adelaide yet to score.
And somewhat interesting move from Robbie Pyman. Jared Bennett, we talked about him as one of the best defenders in the SANFL. He's actually playing centre-half forward today, and Eve Stibinala's picking him up. So that's a strange move, given that they're going against a strong breeze in the first quarter.
Look, absolutely right. I've been a centre-half back, I think, at the moment is Benny Walton. He came back into the league side last week, played pretty well, one of their best, but Jared Bennett was probably their best defender last week against Corey Archie, one of the better matchups, and very interesting move indeed. Anyway, the Rucks go to it again. Scholar gets a tap. He's dominating there early. Clinton King, though, the ball magnet for the Panthers, clears it out of centre for South Adelaide. Only goes as far as Graham. Graham gets the handball to Hopwood. Out of side centre wing. His kick partially smothered. Thomas going there along with with Jackman. It goes out of bounds. There'll be a throw in out of side centre wing.
Some good early signs here for Scholar, who's been winning those taps at that centre bounce.
Yeah, Bradley's been the dominant ruckman for South Adelaide, but we did see his colours lowered last week against Parry.
And at the moment, Scholar's a couple of them just haven't been contested. This time it does, and again, Scholar over the back gets the tap. Central Districts was Slade back in the squad, gets the kick, bounces up, comes down towards Griffin on the bounce. Griffin now under pressure, puts the ball down, turnover. Bello with a short kick inside 50. Comes down to Carey. Carey under some pressure, gets the handball away. Can South clear out of defence? It's about 68 of goal. Tough ball to get. Bradley puts his body line, picks it up like a rover. And in fact, there has been a free kick. Will go the way of the Panthers. Quick kick towards the centre of the ground. A little bit boggy there. Picked up by Wright. Wright, the quick hand pass on the Griffin. Griffin, the kick towards Bennett, centre half forward. Can't take the mark. His opponent now with the spoil. The kick forward on the ground, Essentials. Been pretty much ball on the ground so far. Walton comes in to get it. He leaves it behind. Now Centrals with a pick-up. Smart kick, and that will find Luke Cowan. Cowan on half-forward flank. Kicks inside 50 over the head of Wilson and Shell. Mills comes forward there to pick up the ball, but instead comes down to Centrals. That was Slade onto Cowan. Cowan heads towards the hot spot. 15 out from goals. And a great mark to Cochrane. He kicked the opening goal. He's up against Kruger, and he'll have a shot for goal number 2.
Cochrane again, and you just wonder what Robert Palmer might have to do just to slow this down and perhaps crowd that forward line a little bit.
Well, one thing that the Central side do is they do get into there very, very quickly, don't they? And that's the situation there that Cochrane found himself one out and on an opponent that he stuck up the one paw and was able to pull it in, Phil.
Yeah, very good. 7 goals, 9 coming into today. He's kicked 1 goal, so 8-9. This is to make it even money for the season.
Okay, Richard Cochrane Coming in now, 25 metres out, stabs at the ball, kicks it low, keeps it inboard, and that's his second and Central's second. They go to 2 straight goals on the Magnets for Life scoreboard. South Adelaide yet to score, and on the AFB Appliances, we've played 5 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, another interesting matchup down there in the forward line. We see Ben Wilson. He's got the big job today on Daniel Shell, the leading goal kicker in the SANFL. Just a couple of early signs there. Ryan Griffin, class player, young kid, just turned the ball over in the midfield there, a bit sloppy use of the ball, and then Central's just moved it down forward and slotted the goal there through Cochrane. Okay,
back in the centre square, it is Schuyler who's been the dominant ruckman so far, up against Bradley. Thinking that one umpire will bounce the ball, the other umpire throws it up. This time the umpire bounced the ball. It came out to Bradley this time. He's knocked it in the way of Clinton King. He gets the ball over to a teammate there in Tarrant. Tarrant missed the running player, and that player was Footner. He's good enough to go back in there, but the handball's come back to the Central side. It was Slade with a quick kick up to half forward, blocked off by the South Adelaide player. Bellows in there, also Cochrane. Cochrane's had a few touches so far, has already kicked 2 goals. But the ball's not going to go there. Too many players around the fall of the ball. The umpire has to come in and have another bounce.
South Adelaide just fumbling a little bit there at the moment, and just due to probably the pressure from Centrals.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat on the Boogle carrier there at the moment, and South Adelaide are feeling the pinch, I think.
Okay, down goes the bounce. Schuyler again gets a tap down. This time he actually kicks it off the ground, goes up to his forward area, does bounce just inside the boundary line, and the throw will take place right in front of the Magnets for Life scoreboard, which says Centrals are 2 goals. They lead South Adelaide yet to score.
Matty Slade been out for a couple of weeks, but he's right in the thick of things early on and getting quite a few touches.
AFB Appliances, time clock, 6 minutes gone here, first quarter. All Central so far, 2 straight goals. South have not bothered the scoreboard at 10. It comes down to Schuyler, who brings the ball to earth, gets rid of it before it could be tackled and give away the free kick. The scrum develops. Yeah, he did get rid of it. He brought it down and then got rid of it pretty quick.
Might just be worth Southside dropping back in that goal square, vacant goal square at the moment.
That's right, Chris Hall closest to it, but you're right, there's not a player within 20 metres of goal. They're all at the bounce of the ball. Schuyler brings it down, gets the hand pass away. The kick towards goal. Might have actually got it. We're trying to pick up the player. It is a goal. 3 in a row, Doggies. They've left out. They've jumped out to a 3-goal lead, and that was Matthew Slade credited with the goal. That's his first, Central's third. Let's go back to the studio for a score update.
Thanks, Phil. Sturt, 2 straight goals, 12 lead Norwood 1 point. Collingwood 7-5-47 lead Richmond 4-5-29. And Fremantle 5-5-35 lead Carlton 3-5-23. Let's go back to Noarlunga.
Back here in Noarlunga Oval, Central Districts. They are the best first quarter team in the competition. They won 13 out of 15 this year. South have won just 5 out of 10 first quarters. Doggies with the win by 18. Schuyler again brings the ball down, but Hall gets the centre clearance, but it goes down to a Central's player who will take the mark. Just defensive side, centre of the ground.
That previous goal was set up by Schuyler. Great ruck work to palm the ball down to Slade, who snapped truly.
Hand pass now to Quentin Graham. Graham with the high kick. Let the wind take it just outside 50, looking for Cowan. Brought down by Walton. Hard ball to get here right in front of the Jimmy Dean grandstand. Comes up now. That was Swatala with the hard ball to Gowan. Back to Swatala. He's right on the boundary line. Gets the kick away. We're heading for the hot spot where Shell sets himself. Gets the tap down. It's a ground ball. Griffin's in there, outnumbered 2-1. And tries to get the behind, and eventually it is rushed over. The first behind for the Doggies and for the game. It's the Magnets for Life scoreboard showing Central's 3-1-19. South yet to score.
Good work there by Centrals to work it forward, just that quick kick and just opening the game up a bit.
Yeah, it was a great piece of work there, and they had the crummers there at ground level, and they looked really dangerous there in front of goal.
The under-18 All-Australian Quentin Graham to bring the ball back in.
Or Ryan Griffin.
Ryan Griffin, I should say. Kicks it to himself as he has done previous times. Goes that outer side of the ground. Sloppy kick, but jumping in there is Thomas for the Bulldogs and takes the mark at half forward. He's got a long kick up to the top of the goal square. In there is Cowan. Can he take the mark? Oh, yes, he can. Plays on, and another goal on the board for Centrals. 2 quick, 2 strong, 3 goals, 4 goals on the board. Cowan's first, 4-goal, 1-25. South Adelaide yet to have it into their forward 50.
Critical mistake there by Ben Wilson, just losing his footing in that marking contest, and that's costly.
Yeah, it was a scrappy kick coming out of defence. South Adelaide really looked short in defence, and Robbie Pymans, he's really got to make the move. Jared Bennett's up there, centre forward, getting cold at the moment, and I think he should be moving down into the back line.
Yeah, good point. It was a bad kick by Ryan Griffin too. Kicked it to himself, and when you do that, you've got to actually clear it outside the 50. The ball did drop short, and Thomas was able to get it there and get it back quickly. In there he goes up. It's Schuyler again, taps the ball out in the race for the ball. This time it's South Adelaide. They force the ball forward. Bradley jumps on the top of Schuyler. No free kick there. 4 or 5 players jump on him. Another throwdown will take place right smack bang in the centre of Noarlunga Oval.
It may be worth playing Mark Bradley as a loose man in defence and bringing Brett King into the ruck contest because he's getting killed at the moment.
He does play that role very well, does Bradley. In there this time, Schuyler's been held on, so he'll get the free kick. And that mightn't be a bad ploy there by what Craig Biggs, as you said, gets Bradley to play loose in defence. Scholar now in the centre of the ground. But no one leading for him, so he comes out sideways, goes out this time with a hurried kick up to the true centre-half forward position. In there from behind, pushes the ball down. Jimmy Gowns can't take it. South Adelaide through Tarrant forced the ball forward, but it's Swatala picks up the ball cleanly. He gets it over to Quinton Graham. No, it's not. It's Tyson Hay. Tyson Hay goes back inboard to his teammate. That player there was Sibonala. Gets a hurried kick up to half forward. No one can take the mark. Again, it comes down. Cowan in there for the Doggies. Comes out to King. King gets it over to his teammate there, and that player there, I haven't got a number for, is a Wilson. It comes out this time. South Adelaide running through the player there with Hall. Hall backs out, goes to the hurry kick, but it's all Tyson Hay there for the Doggies. He's marked in the centre of the ground. Plays on quickly, sinks the slipper with his left foot, goes up to Cowan. Cowan in front, can't take the ball. Jimmy Gowns in there too. He can't pick it up, but racing through it. A great tackle shown there by Ryan Griffith. Stops the Doggies player in his track. Good tackle there shown by the young man.
South Adelaide trying to clear the ball, but just those kicks is going straight to the Centrals player.
Yeah, the Centrals have set up a wall across the centre line there. Scholar's gobbling up everything.
So the throw up by the umpire inside Central's forward 50 comes down to Creek. Creek the hand pass now. That's Quentin Graham. He's about 45 out. Got 2 pounders. Gets the handball back. So trying to get a low kick in now. Ground ball in dispute. South Adelaide, can they bring it out of the defence? Comes now to Wilson. Wilson with a long kick. Bennett, he's moved up the field. He's on centre wing. He's got 2 Centrals opponents to beat. Can't get past the first, handballs it up. It goes towards the boundary line. Will be a throw in right in front of the RPH commentary crew here, enjoying the match at the back of the Jimmy Dean grandstand. Centrals on target for a 12-15 goal first quarter at the moment. 11 minutes gone thanks to AFE appliances.
15 goals.
Well, they were first 8 minutes they scored 4 goals. If they did it every 2 minutes in a 30-minute quarter, they'd kick 15. Anyway, comes down to Krieg. Krieg now under the attack, gets the handball away to Bello. Bello now with Thomas. Thomas sends the long reaching ball towards the top of the goal square. Packers sends themselves in and out of the hands of Cowan, by the looks goes out of bounds. It's a throw in 10 metres from the central
And we've
goal.
seen South bring the changes there. We see Scott Webb coming into the ground and Matthew Footner going off, and we also see another change there, Miller going off, and it's Warren going on.
Okay, throwing deep in the forward pocket. Central's into attack, doing all the attacking at this stage. In it comes. In there this time as Bradley gets the ball out. Quick kick away from the South Adelaide defence. Goes into the way of Thomas it was. He gets the handball over. Comes out this time to the Centrals player, and that player is Shell. Turns around, has a shot at goal, and it is a minor score on the board. So 4-2 Centrals. South Adelaide get the score.
Yeah, Daniel Shell kicked 2 goals, 5 last week, so the radar just a little bit off at the moment.
South Adelaide just getting a bit caught there inside 50. Perhaps they just need to drop a player back just around that 50-metre line.
Well, maybe they should try and run it out with a bit more handball. I think there's just scrappy kicks going out there, going to the Centrals players.
Okay, better kick in by Griffith this time. Goes to the outer side of the ground. It's all Centrals again where the numbers are. Good play again. It comes out this time to Cochrane. Cochrane drops it again. He comes it back into it. Does it very well, but a great tackle by Griffin. And they're appealing for the free kick, but no free kick forthcoming. Good effort by Cochrane there on his second effort.
Yeah, to hold the ball up. And I mean, that's the thing. The Centrals forward and half-forward line are really keeping the pressure on. South can't get it out of defence easily. That forces the turnover, and it's like a rebound in basketball. Centrals just get another shot at goal. Comes down to Jared Wright. Jared Wright, the hand pass to Clinton King. King takes a bounce. Kicks it. Here's another turnover as spoken about to Graham. Graham to Hay. He's got a spin. Gets away from 3 Panthers with a handball now to Thomas. Thomas under pressure. Good work there by Warren. A couple of teammates in South Adelaide. A chance maybe the first time they get some free-flowing ball. The hand pass, however, not great. Turnover time. Central District 70 metres out. The kick coming in there towards forward 50, but Bradley, as suspected, is way back there in defence, has time to lope after it, pick it up just inside the boundary line to Griffin. Griffin will clear the ball out of defensive 50, and South Adelaide have found a loose player on the half-back flank. That's Carey. Carey sends it down grandstand centre wing, change room centre wing, I should say, to Warren. Comes off the hands. It's a throw-in in front of the change rooms here at Noarlunga Oval.
Just wonder with South Adelaide, perhaps Bennett could perhaps come up more to that centre, perhaps on the wing or something, just to give them an option coming out of defence.
Oh, yeah, he's playing centre forward, but he really's got to lead forward and play more to the wing with the breeze against them.
Okay, Scholar up against Bradley. Scholar makes front position, but this time it is Bradley gets the ball out to his teammate there in Carey. Carey has his kick smothered, but it's all Central District. Streaming through the midfield is Graham. He goes up to a kick towards Cowan. Cowan's in front, can't take the ball this time. Forcing the ball from South Adelaide forward is Walton. He gets it out to his teammate. Good play there by Walton to find Wright. Wright goes upfield. He's found a teammate too, and that player there is Chris Hall. So Chris Hall, centre wing's got Bennett leading for him, finds that player, or did it bounce? He's claiming the mark. The umpire said no, it did bounce. So he gets it out towards Jackman. Jackman inboard to his teammate, but he's been wrapped up by 3 Centrals. Stolen by the Centrals player there in Hopwood. but the umpire says you're not going to get through that traffic, my friend, and I'll have it. We'll have a bandstand centre wing grandstand side. It is 4-2-26. South Adelaide get the score.
Chris Hall's made a great start. He's had an injury interrupted season, but he's getting a lot of ball early on.
Scholar in there this time. It gets out to Jimmy Gans. He gives it over to He Ain't Heavy, and that's Chris. But 4 or 5 players again on top of the ball. Pretty scrappy game. Scholar bends over, picks it up, does something that no one else can do, and that's pick the ball up. But a hurried kick by Centrals comes to the grandstand side. It'll go over the boundary line in front of Tarrant for South Adelaide in a good competition against Matthew Krieg. Sees the ball over the boundary line. Throw in right in front of 5 RPH here at the Noarlunga Oval.
The umpires are certainly letting the game go and not picking out a free kick in those scraps.
Yeah, they might need to pick out a few free kicks to, you know, break the play up a bit, because it has been scrappy the last few minutes.
Well, Centrals have kicked 4 goals in the first 8 minutes. They've gone 6 minutes without any goal, and South have gone 15 minutes without any score whatsoever. As the tap-in just stays in bounds, comes now to Kruger. Kruger there, quick hand pass to King. King gets the hurried kick, goes down centre wing. Scholar's got to chase after it, can't take the mark. Bennett runs onto the ball. He's got 2 Centrals players to beat, and probably does pretty well just to ensure it goes over the line. One of the few forward attacks for South thus far in the game. It's going to be a throw-in about 55, 60 metres out on the change room side. Interchange coming on for the Panthers is Matthew Footner and Tommy Tarrant taking a rest. Throw in now. As I said, half-forward flank, change room side just favouring South Adelaide. Again, Scholar credit with a tap, comes down to Matthew Smith. He's back in the lineup. His kick is smothered. Comes down to King. King trying to get the hand pass out to Saunders. He picks it up. First possession in SANFL League footy. Comes back to Saunders. He tries to get it away again. And this time a free kick. And I think that's no, that is Saunders who gets the free kick. Rewarded for his effort, just putting his head down, getting over the ball. He kicks it inside forward 50. The wind takes the ball sideways, but a good pass and a good mark. South Adelaide mark inside forward 50. Their first shot on goal.
Is that Chris Hall?
That's Chris Hall at a guess at the moment. He's standing sideways to us, so can't get much of a look at him.
Chris Hall.
And he's going to kick about 40 metres out. Here, kicking into the wind. This, if he does, will be South's first score of the first quarter. The kick looks straight enough. The players go up. Was it touched? Umpires. The goal. Panthers on the board with a sausage roll. And 16 minutes, 52 seconds in, thanks to AFE Appliance Services. It's Central's 4-2-26. South 1 goal 6. Magnets for Life scoreboard. Let's go back to the studio for score updates.
Sturt 3-2-20, lead Norwood 3 points. Collingwood 7-5-47. They lead Richmond 6-5-41. And Fremantle 6-5-41, lead Carlton 4-7-31 as we go back to Noarlunga.
South have really been working hard the last few minutes, and they deserve that goal, I think.
They certainly did. Bradley up against Scholar. Scholar again takes it out, sockers it off the ground. In there is Bellet forcing it forward. He's overrun the ball. South Adelaide through Jackman, get a handball back, but Bellet steals that one. Scholar in there, gets it out to his teammate, and that player there is Steinburner. Steinburner, if he kicks it that high, he will bring rain. In there, great courageous mark from a play you'd expect to show some courage, and that's Jimmy Gans. He gets it over to the running player there in Steinburner. Steinburner from just outside 50, pops up to the top of the square. The wind takes it away, hits the bottom of the point post, and a throw will take place with South Adelaide kicking their first goal at the 17-minute mark of this first quarter.
Throw in now a few metres around from the boundary line. Interchange coming on for the Panthers is Brett King, the backup ruckman.
And Mark Bradley's off at the moment.
And that's not a bad move, because Bradley, to be honest, has been slaughtered in ruck early on. As the forward play, and the goalpost has been slammed by Central District. I think that was James Gowans who gave it a bit of a touch.
Wouldn't hurt him. Don't worry about that.
He's up. Everyone's up. That's good to see. The padding did the job.
I wonder he didn't break the goal.
It is a behind the Doggies. They're 4-3-27. South 1 goal straight 6. The kick from Griffin finds a teammate right in front, and that's Webb right in front of the Magnets for Life scoreboard. He goes down the centre wing grandstand side. Rucks go to it. Scholar over the top, but Graham comes up with the mark. He brings it in board looking for Thomas. Goes over his head, taken by James Gowan. Now he uses Thomas. Thomas with a handball to Hay. Hay now with the handball to Cowan. Cowan finds Krieg. He's inside 50. He's free. He lines it up. He shoots. He gets the goal. The Doggies fifth. 18 minutes into the first quarter. Central's 5-3-33. South just the one sausage roll.
And that goal was sent up by Quentin Graham. He's been sensational so far, and actually in the last few weeks he's been really good across that half-back line, taking marks, and yeah, he pumped the ball into the forward line there. Matty Krieg, good finish in the end, got clear, and not much pressure on him in the end, and South Adelaide really need to stem the flow here because they're going to be out of this game very shortly.
They'll also need to have a look at how they're going to kick out from full-back because that's just not working at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin's been doing the kick-outs. Some of them have been pretty ordinary, and they need to look at that pretty shortly.
King up against Scholar. Scholar again gets the ball down, but South Adelaide through Jackman gets a hurried kick. Thomas is in there. He rebounds the ball quickly up to half forward. Leading in the race for the ball this time is Krieg, the last goal kicker. He gets it over to Cochrane. Cochrane over the top to Chris Gowns, I think it is. He reels back, turns around on the left foot, goes in short looking for Bello, but Ryan Griffin, too much height, spoils the ball towards the Magnets for Life scoreboard, and it says that Central's 5-3-33 leads South Adelaide 1 goal, and that's 6 points.
And we see Central's making a change. Paul Scholar coming off for a well-earned break, and Buckets McKenzie coming back onto the ground.
Okay, a throw in the forward pocket region for Central. They've had all the attacking. I think South have taken it up once and kicked 1 goal. King in there this time. Comes over the top of Cowan, forces the ball forward. Cochrane's in there. He gets the ball back towards Bello. Bello now with a round-the-body kick up to full forward area, but in front and almost taking the mark there was the player Jackman for South Adelaide. He forces the ball out. South Adelaide running the ball out of defence. He comes out to a teammate there in Carey. Carey with a pretty ordinary kick goes up in the centre of the ground. I'll get it right. Centrals with all the numbers. Comes out to Chris Gowns. He's right on 50. Turns around on the left foot. Has a flying shot for goal. He knows where the goals are. Turns around and says, thank you very much for his first goal. And South Adelaide have now got 6. 6 goals, 3, 39. They lead South Adelaide 1 straight goal, 6. That's on the Magnets for Life scoreboard. And on the AFE Appliances time clock, we played 1 minute into time on of this first quarter. Let's go back to the studio and get scores from all around the grounds.
Sturt 3-2-20, lead Norwood 1-3-9, Richmond 7-5-47, Collingwood 7-5-47, and Fremantle 6-6-42, lead Carlton 5-7-37. As we take you back to Noarlunga.
Great goal there by Chris Gowns. They may have to man up on him in there in that midfield.
Well, this is already the worst defensive effort by South Adelaide in the first quarter. It was previously a 5-4 against Norwood. No one has kicked 6 goals against South in the opening quarter of this season until now. And there's about 5 or 6 minutes to go. South Adelaide have the ball, and they do find Benny Warren with a kick. He decides to quick hand pass on to Sanders. That doesn't work. There was Central District's defenders right on the money there. They soccer the ball out towards the boundary line. Thomas, who's been busy, and he's been the spark for Centrals, and often their forward sorties, comes to Graham. Graham now gets the hand pass across, comes to James Gowns. James Gowns avoids the hassle. He's got some space now to line up and look for Krieg. Krieg's got it at his toes, unfortunately. 2-on-1 contest, Panthers, and Matthew Smith picks it up and he runs away. Kicks it towards half-forward flag. He's looking for Warren or Bennett. Bennett shepherds. Warren takes the mark. Good teamwork there from South Adelaide.
Yeah, you called that well. It was a good shepherd.
Panthers now about 70 out, looking for the full forward. In fact, looking for Clinton King, and he will get himself a free kick there over the shoulder just as he was taking the mark. He has the ball just on defensive 50, probably too far out to score with the breeze. Heads for the top of the square. Mark goes up, and I think, is that Brad? No, it's not. That's Footner. He's come from nowhere to get the mark and straight away plays on, kicks the goal. Not much emotion, the South supporters here, because that is the Panthers' second. They've
got to thaw out, that's why.
A little bit of shock here, the way Centrals have come out. Magnets for Life scoreboard, Central 6-3-39, Panthers 2-0-12.
That looked a lot better there for South Adelaide. Really went forward with some method and some great vision as well.
Yeah, that was a good piece of play there by South Adelaide. Clinton King, after getting stitched up early by Matty Slade, starting to come into the game a bit more, and 2 goals to 6-3, 4 goals down with the breeze in the next quarter. Is not as bad as it sounds.
Should mention Matthew Footner's first goal at SANFL League level. Congratulations.
Well done. Okay, Scholar in there again. No, it's McKenzie in there again. He gets the ball out. This time South Adelaide through. Smith gets a hurry kick up to half forward. Bennett leading in the race for the ball. Can he keep the ball in the area? Tries valiantly to do that. Sibilana soccers the ball up towards the boundary line. But in there again, it is Thomas, who loves to run and have a bounce. There he goes again, having 1 bounce, having 2 bounces. Takes the ball almost up to half forward. Kicks in long to the hot spot. Can anyone take a mark? Yes, they can, but it is Carey for South Adelaide. Carey plays on quickly, goes out towards King. That's Brett King on the outer side of the ground. He plays on quickly. Has got Chris Hall out at centre wing. He takes the mark. And now he looks up and sees there's no one upfield for him, so he's got to slow it down. So South Adelaide turning their defensive work into attack there. Very well done. Up they go to sort of half forward, but it is all the Panthers, all the Central side, and that is off the high. He takes the mark. Off the high, clears out of the danger zone, but goes straight back to Hall, and Hall will take 2 with his second kick in the space of a minute from exactly the same spot. So Chris Hall hasn't been too bad. He's already kicked a goal for the Panthers. He's had a few possessions thus far. South Adelaide now all running forward for him. and just holding the ball up as he does. He's right out there on that outer side of the ground, right in front of the 5 RPH outhouse, as we called it last week, Phil. And as DB would love to be heard. But the left foot kick goes up to the centre wing, drops short in front is Buckets McKenzie, and he relieves the pressure for Central's. Plays on, goes inboard. Is a pretty ordinary kick. It'd want to come off. Smith in there for South Adelaide, picks it up, gets the handball out, has been tackled high, and he'll receive the free kick. The player who in distress there was Heath Hopwood. So Smith will take the free kick right in the middle of the ground. So Buckets McKenzie's turnover there could be costly. Smith now goes up towards the Tregenza variety, but Central's again just with the numbers. They've got the numbers everywhere. They play on quickly out of defence. Comes out with a hurried kick looking for Cochrane. Cochrane marked. He's in a group of about 4 South Adelaide players. Kicks it up high, and it was a very, very well-timed kick. Placed it out in front of James Gowns, and he's marked 48 metres out, kicking to the southern end with the wind at his back. Shouldn't have any problem with the distance.
It's just that James Gowan, his radar's gone missing. Last 8 games, he's kicked 2 goals, 12. He's still number 4 on the Central's goal kicking list.
Okay, Jimmy Gowans had his car stolen a couple of weeks ago. I wonder if he's got it back yet. Haven't heard?
It would help the person if he did.
Yeah, I know. Jimmy Gowans right on 50, leans back, kicks it up, looks pretty good, but has just faded away for a minor score. No, it hasn't. It's got through. So no emotion showed by any of the Central's players or the people behind the goal. So we thought that went through for a point. So they have kicked their 7th. He's kicked his first. 7-3. That is 45, leading South Adelaide 2 straight goals, 12. That's on the Magnets for Life scoreboard.
South are just too slow with their ball movement. They could get the ball around the half-back line or in the centre, and they look to go forward, and they're just too slow. It allows them Central to get numbers back, and then there's like a heap of open space as Central's move forward, and it's all too easy for them at the moment.
It is at the moment. 6 individual goal scorers so far, Phil, for the Central side.
And they're looking very, very good. They might take that Mayor's Trophy down to the engraving shop early, I think, this afternoon. This time, Brett King gets the tap over the top of McKenzie. Comes down to namesake Clinton King. Not related, I should add. Now Hall at centre-half forward comes to right. Right's got to beat some defenders. And some great work by McKenzie to force the turnover. But it does go to King. King gets it over to Warren. He's got to fight for the ball against Slade. Now Chris Hall puts his body over the line. South slowly but surely surging it forward. But Central's now with the ball, and that was a good work by Slade to get it open. And I think that's off to Hyde now with a kick around his body. But to the former Falcon from West Perth in Brett King.
Careful,
he takes the mark, and he hits the handball to Smith. Smith looking for some options. He heads sideways, and in the end, that's pretty well done into the arms of Scott Webb. Webb pretty much centre of the ground. 26 minutes gone of the first quarter. It is Central District's 33-point leaders. They've done it well with the wind at their back. And Webb has gone back. In fact, South Adelaide have gone backwards in the last 30 seconds. Goes to Smith. Now he kicks it towards goal. That's the way it's got to go. Sure enough, that goes to a contest. Turnover towards James Gowans. He finds the safety of the boundary line the best option. It's a throw-in on the club room's wing.
I get the impression there, Gowans just going towards the boundary line. Probably happy with what's happened this quarter and waiting for quarter time, I think.
Yeah, fair point too. 27 minutes gone of this first quarter, and they do lead quite comfortably at the moment by 33 points. In it comes McKenzie in there against Brett King. Comes over the back, and it's Thomas, I think, was tackled high. And players allowed to go on because it's come out to Quinton Graham, and the advantage rules play for the quick kick up to half forward. No one can take the mark. A free kick being paid against the Central player in... Well, I didn't know that was against Shell, but the free kick played to South Adelaide and for hanging on.
Yeah, not a bad job done so far by Ben Wilson, the ex-Nord defender.
It certainly was. He kicked up to half forward. Miller's in there for the south side, but coming out of defence again is the player for Central. He kicks it up to half forward. That was Quinton Graham. Marking the ball is Luke Cowan. He's marked at, well, centre-half forward, true centre-half forward position. He'll go back and have a shot on goal. He'll kick from around about 50.
He's just such a fantastic mobile player, Quinton Graham. He's able to run quickly, and also he's able to match up on a tall forward or tall defender. He's so versatile, and he gives Central so much in recent weeks.
Last week, Luke Howard was in the reserves, named as one of the best players. Kicked 15 goals, 12 at league level, at number 5 on the Doggies list as he kicks from 50. It's high, wide, it is handsome, as are the Doggies this afternoon. That's their 8-3-51, South 2 goals, 12.
Great goal there by Quinton Graham, and certainly over the last 2 years he's had a new lease of life up forward after probably starting his career as a defender.
Yeah, well, I thought that a couple of years ago he played in the finals from Quinton Graham at defensive end and was fantastic. I thought he'd been lucky not to be drafted.
Well, he was one of those, we saw that game at North Adelaide a couple of weeks ago where Central's sparked something in the third quarter after North Adelaide got in front, and Graham was probably the best player on that day, 3 goals, and that was after coming up in defence. So he's had a new lease of life. Important for him because it's going to be a hard battle for spots for the set Doggies come finals time.
Down goes the bounce in the centre of the ground. McKenzie up against Brett King. Comes down to Clinton King. James Gowns in there. Forces a quick kick. It's smothered though, but comes out to South Adelaide player there, and that is Jared Wright. He kicks up to half forward, but it is again all Centrals. Comes out to his teammate there. That was Hopwood. Got it out to Thomas. Thomas with a hurried kick up towards the full forward area. That player, Cowan, again goes back inboard to the teammate. Comes out to Cochrane. He can't take the ball as it goes over the boundary line. The throw will take place on that outer side of the ground on the outhouse.
Central District's just looking so dangerous when they go forward and getting their numbers inside their 50.
Yeah, players like Richie Cochrane at the bottom of the pack, they're looking really good.
In it comes the throw-in takes place. It is Brett King. Comes out to Griffith. Griffith goes up to a quick kick, but McKenzie's in there. He's taken the mark. Centre wing green out of sight of the siren sound to end the first quarter and put the South Adelaide players out of their misery for that quarter. They only managed 2 goals, but Central District's kicked 8. 8 goals, 3-51. They lead South Adelaide 12 points. That's 2 goals, 12. So that quarter went 30 minutes and 7 seconds courtesy of AFB Appliances. Phil Hurd some goal scorers, please.
Goal scorers for Centrals, 2 to Cochrane and Cowan. Singles to Slade, Craig, Jimmy Gowns and Chris Gowns. For South, 2 individual goal scorers, Chris Hall and Matthew Footner. And that 39-point margin is South's biggest quarter-time deficit this season. They have lost 11 of 16 first quarters. Centrals have won 14 of 16.
How many quarters when they've lost their favour? With Centrals in control, 51-12. Up goes Bradley Scholar again, as he has done most of the game. Gets the ball out. In there for South Adelaide, doing it well, though, is Footner. He's got it out to the running player there in Smith, I think it was. He kicked the ball up towards the half-forward area where Chris Hall takes the ball, goes back towards centre wing, reels around onto that left foot, gets a hurried kick. In there is the first gamer, and he's done pretty well in Saunders, taking the mark at half-forward. Gets a hurried kick up towards the leading Bennett. Bennett in the front position, gets spoiled from behind. The ball lobs into 3 Central players. Chris Gowns in there, gets the ball over, but Jackman steals it for him. Comes out to Carey. Carey reels around looking for Griffin, who's up on the half-forward line. He gets knocked over by Bello. Bello dives on the ball and gets a free kick. Well, I don't know if it was there. He actually dived on the ball and just rode with Griffith. So Bello plays on quickly, gets it up towards Jimmy Gowns. He gets it over to his teammate there running for him, and that is Krieg. Krieg goes up with a hurried kick up to half forward, but in there is Tarrant. No, Bradley it is, and he's done that very well, plays that back play very well. Goes off towards Smith. Smith now marked at the true centre-half back area. Plays on, reels around to his left foot, hoping for a mark from Miller. Miller jumps in front, does take the mark too. On centre wing, grandstand side, goes inboard to the centre of the ground. The player marks the ball there. I think that is Walton. Walton goes to a hurry kick up to half forward, but goes straight in the arms of Sibalala. And this is where they're falling down across half forward are South Adelaide. Sibalala plays on, gets it over to his teammate there. That player there now, the ball is off to Hyde. Off to Hyde goes the hurry kick out towards Thomas. Thomas is marked at centre wing, slows the ball down, gets a lot of directions from his teammates, goes inboard looking for Graham, finds that player. Graham gives a back-off handball to, I think it was Slade. Slade with a hurry kick up towards centre-half forward, but it's South Adelaide with numbers this time, racing out of defence. Quick kick, can there be a mark here from South Adelaide's point of view? The player stopped and waited for it. That was Tregenza, and that allowed the Central's players to run back in defence and do that quite comfortably. And that player there is off to Hyde. He races out of the ball looking for Jimmy Gowns, goes over his head. Carey's in there for South Adelaide. He gets the ball over to Hall. Hall on to Saunders. Saunders with a hurry kick, this time looking for Tregenza. He was tackled high by the player there in off to Hyde. Thought he could have had a free kick. Comes back to off to Hyde. Off to Hyde kick is chopped off and is marked there by Hall.
So Chris Hall, 55 out, centres the ball up, finds a teammate, and that's a good mark there by Miller, who saved the coming of the game. Just 5 possessions last week. Had a bit of a shocker against the Magpies. Got another chance this afternoon, and he has the ball 55 out. Yeah, South Adelaide showing a little bit more attacking flair in this second quarter. A few more sorties inside forward 50, just can't put anything on the scoreboard. Heads towards Tregenza on the side there. It goes out of bounds, will be a throw-in 5 metres around.
Rod Tregenza there getting very frustrated with the umpire, but I think he should perhaps spend a bit more time worrying about that ball when it comes in.
That was a shocking kick, actually, going to the forward pocket. Should have gone to the top of the square.
Quite correct, Smithy. And I mean, it's interesting, Shell and Tregenza both battling for the Ken Farmer medal. Thus far, neither has a goal on the board. The throw-in doesn't quite get to the ruck when it comes down now to Graham. Graham gets it to Thomas, and Thomas once again is off. He does bounce the ball and leave it behind. Has the class to get it back to Graham. Graham with a low kick to Bello under pressure. Comes now to Bello. He gets it over. Slade now, the kick centre wing, looking for
Daniel Shell.
Daniel Shell, who's playing centre wing. Had to think about that one for a sec, because Shell usually at full forward, but he's moved up just to get a touch of the ball. He's kicked one behind thus far this afternoon, taking his time about it. Obviously used to taking his time shooting for goal, but way out of range as he kicks it back, centres it up towards Hay. Hay now inside the centre square defensively for the Bulldogs, finds a teammate with a low spearing kick. The hand pass from Chris Gowns now goes towards, that was Brad Curry. Curry with the kick. It's down at half forward for the Bulldogs. Comes there to Webb. Webb with the hand pass. South Adelaide under pressure. They're just throwing it around. Comes to Bradley. Bradley tries to avoid a couple of tackles. Again has to get the handball. It's going to be a free kick in favour of the Panthers, and maybe a little bit lucky to get a jail on occasion. Central's forwards do a great job of putting pressure on the defenders. South Adelaide just can't clear it easily out of defence.
I don't know if it was unlucky. I thought Jimmy Gowns did tackle him high there. I thought it was a fair decision.
But just the pressure that Centrals were putting on, just one of their tackles not quite right, gave away the free. And that kick, Chris Gowns puts the pressure on, and actually in doing so gives away another free kick. And South Adelaide are away. The advantage paid as Clinton Kings runs through the centre of the ground, kicks towards half forward now, looking for Tregenza. He comes forward, gets it one hand, first bounce. Tregenza 55 heads towards the goal square. They're going up for the mark. Spolt comes to ground. Saunders with the kick, spins and just misses. Had the right idea.
Exciting play there, Lee Saunders.
He's been impressive so far. He's shown a bit of poise with the ball and good crumbs there, but just lacked the finish. It was a tough kick anyway.
And not bad for a 17-year-old. He's got plenty of great years ahead of him at the moment. The scoreboard, by the way, that was South's first minor score. They're 2-1-13. Central's 8-3-51.
And Tyson Hay, the designated kicker for Centrals, the first time he's had to do that today. South Adelaide have kicked their first kick, first point. Goes in short, finds his teammate there, and that player is Hopwood. Hopwood gets the tackle over, goes over to his other teammate, and that there is Curry. Curry has his kick smothered, so Centrals then just come up with the ball again. They've just got numbers around the fall of the ball. That is the good thing about Centrals. Hopwood out to his teammate there in Graham. Graham over the top to Cochrane, I think it is. Cochrane goes with a long kick up the centre wing and has found Shell. So Shell on centre wing, outer side of the ground here at Noarlunga. And Central's kicking into the breeze. We estimate around about 4 to 5 goals, as it is getting very, very dark on that outer side of the ground. So Shell holding up play, waiting for a lead, and not forthcoming at the moment. So players is standing there. This time he goes right across the ground, goes back to where it started, Wood to Hopwood. Hopwood now plays on, goes to the true centre-half forward position. The ball does drop short. In there this time it lets South come through. That player there is Saunders. He gets the handball over, but Bello chops it off, gets it over to Chris Gowns. Chris Gowns over to his teammate there, and that is Steinburner. Steinburner with a kick over to another player running through the middle of the ground, and that player is Switala. Switala goes up and has a shot at goal, but is marked on the last line of defence by Jackman.
Jackman now the ball. He's right up there in front of the Central's army that have made the trip down from Elizabeth. He kicks towards Footner. Spoiled at centre half forward for the Doggies. Free kick to South Adelaide. Play on advantage rule. It's a good one for the Panthers. Hall by himself on centre wing. He gets the hand pass over to King. King looking to inbound it. Hand pass has got to bounce right, sit right for, that's for Kruger. Kruger now back to Warren. Warren's got it. So that was Miller. Miller kick in there towards the hot spot. Comes down. Off the height, has first use of the ball. The thing about Centrals and South, the difference is Central's able to clear it out of defence so easily. As the quick hands comes towards James Gowns, he's tackled over the boundary line by Carey. Will be a throw-in.
Clinton King got a very hard knock after he disposed of that ball, so looking a bit groggy at the moment.
Yeah, Clinton King, important player for South, and they need him to be up and firing if they get back into this game.
They certainly do. Bradley goes in ruck this time and catches it. He's given away a free kick to his opponent there in Quinton Graham. And Quinton Graham made front spot. Bradley came over the top of him, and a free kick has been given away. So you bet that he'd get it over to his teammate who's running past for him. That is Steinburner. Steinburner has a bounce, has a luxury of a second bounce. He might even have a third here if he wants to, but no, decides to kick it up to the true centre-half forward position. It's a 2-on-2 competition in front, almost taking the ball there. Couldn't quite pick up that player, but 4 or 5 players jump on the ball, and another bounce then will take place.
Nathan Steinburner showing some real experience there. Could have kept running wide, but instead straightened himself up and kicked straight down the middle.
Yeah, there's been a few players chipping around with Centrals, and it was good play by Steinburner.
Okay, Bradley gets the ball out, but it's in the favour of the Doggies, and that is Jimmy Gowns. No, it was Chris Gowns. He gets it over towards Bello. Bello's tackle gets it back towards Chris Gowns. Chris Gowns goes up with a long kick up to the full forward area. In there and taking a good mark there. And back play is Wilson. So Wilson plays on quickly, comes to this outer side, finds Jackman. Jackman plays on quickly, goes to the centre wing looking for King. He's up and recovered from that knock that he just did receive. Gets the handball back to his teammate there in Smith. Smith gets it over the top. Comes back to the player that's been on the ground just shortly in Putner. Putner goes with a hurry kick to the centre-half far forward area, looking for Saunders, and Saunders playing as a 17-year-old has done very well, has had a couple of good possessions too, so he's marked just inside the square. Now looks up, sees a player leading for him, and that is Tregenza. Doesn't go to that play, goes to the outer side instead and finds his teammate. And that play there, Phil?
Matthew Smith.
Smith, it is too. So Smith, number 8 for South, inside the centre square. Now has got Tregenza leading for him, decides to ignore that play, goes the long bomb up towards the full forward area, but leaning back and taking the mark ever so easily is Jeremy off to Hyde.
Off to Hyde, heads down the outer side. He's got a player there, and Thomas, surprise, surprise, takes one bounce. He'll take a second bounce. He's running down the half-back flank. That's number 3. Goes for 4. Clocking him up now. Number 5, he's run already about 60, 70 metres. After 5, kicks it inside forward 50. This is a good kick towards the contest. Comes down Scholar trying to be there. Umpire says play on. And the pack descends. Ball in dispute will be a ball up 45 out from the Bulldogs' goal. But Paul Thomas, gee, loves that open space. Go for a run, have a bounce.
He teared down the wing there, and great work both him and Steinberg are really carrying the ball across that half-back line.
So the umpire now has a bounce up there. Scholar trying to get in ruck, comes down to Chris Gowns. No one touched the ball, so Chris had better be careful. He's not deemed to be the ruckman. He taps it forward. Now kick from the Panthers just to relieve the pressure momentarily. But that's Marco Bello there who'll take the mark. Half forward flank for the Doggies. He centres the ball up. Comes now to Graham. Graham to Hay. Hay from 55 out. The short kick finds a teammate. Marked for Central Districts. That player there, I think, was James Gowns, who goes with the kick, but under pressure goes wide. Behind for the Doggies. That's 8-4-52, South 2-1-13. Magnets for Life scoreboard.
Yeah, Central Districts are just a bit more precise with their ball movement into the breeze. Their skills are a little bit more cleaner, and they tend to hit their targets a bit more than South Adelaide did in the first quarter.
South Adelaide with a kick straight down the middle of the ground looking for Miller, but in there is Cowan. He's taking the mark. He's got a player running for him. Gives it to that player. That is Graham. Graham goes in short looking for Thomas, is it?
Yep.
It is Thomas, and he's marked the ball just inside the 50-metre arc. You think he'd be too far out to kick a goal or a score, so you might think he might lob it up to the top of the goal square or go in short to a leading play. He's got the options, but no, he's swinging the leg through, so he might be having a go. Loves to run and bounce the ball, does Thomas. Kicks from 51 metres, goes to the top of the square. Can anyone up there take a mark? No, they can't. Comes out, good spoil, comes out to one of the Gowns boys. That's Chris. He wheels around on the left foot, goes up to the top of the goal square. No one can take the ball, but Bello has a flying shot, but marked on the line, and that was by Wilson. He kicks it out to that player, again, Thomas. He's got the ball on the string at the moment, goes in short. Good play by Thomas, and he has found... Gee whiz, I can't pick up that player. He's way up there.
And there's a 25-metre penalty as well.
Okay, so that player, we might get a chance to see who it is, and he's gone to right to the top of the square. Did you see what the indiscretion was for, Phil? You've got the 1040s on?
Yeah, I think it's Matty Krieg who's got the ball.
Okay, we'll go with Matthew Krieg at this stage. 10 metres out, virtually directly in front. And this will be the first goal on the board for Centrals in this second quarter if he does kick it. The umpire says that's okay. And he's kicked his first, and Centrals now have got their ninth. So Matthew Krieg on the board. Good score there, and Centrals taking the ball down and kicking their first of the quarter.
Interesting move there from South Adelaide. They've taken off Jared Bennett and brought Ben Warren on. So Bennett hasn't had the greatest day up forward, and he's off the ground now. But Central Districts there, a great piece of play there, and a good goal there from Matthew Krieg, who's been good so far in this game.
Well, it took 11 minutes for the first goal of the second quarter. Centrals have now extended their lead to 45 points, so they're really putting their stamp on this game.
That's a disappointing part from South Adelaide's point of view. Every time we've seen them down there and they have had the win in the second or the last quarter, they haven't done it, they haven't used it, have they?
Well, I mean, they've been competitive with Centrals, but with the win, you'd expect them in a normal game to outscore them. But anyway, Rucks go to it. Comes down, I think that was Scholar with a tap, comes down to Slade. He's wrapped up pretty quickly. Will be another ball up just a metre away from the centre circle.
They're pretty tight there in that centre square there at the moment, and not too many easy kicks.
Throw up now. This time Thomas plays ruckman. Umpire's found a free. Decide to play advantage. Hopwood's got to run onto the ball, which he does so. Central Districts do have the running play. It's Slade now at the corner of the centre square. Runs past his south opponent. Goes with a low kick towards centre half forward. There's the target towards Bello. Bello, they're just kicking it low today for some reason. I guess into the wind. Why not? Jimmy Gowans has it. Shrugs his first opponent. Gets the hand pass across. That's Cowan. He spins. He shoots and scores the goal. 2 in 2 minutes. Cowan's third. Leading goal scorer for the Doggies. Central's 10-4-64. South 2-1-13. Magnets for Life scoreboard. Let's go back to the studio for scores around the grounds.
Sturda 6-3-39. They lead Norwood 4-5-29 as we go back to Noarlunga.
Noarlunga, and just looking at the play there, it was far too easy in the forward 50 for Central District. So the Gowans boys seem to be left unattended in the forward 50 lately, and they've just been running amok, and a great finish there by Luke Cowan, snap on the left foot.
He's played on. He can't go back and take a mark now. He gets the hand pass on, still in defensive 50 for South Adelaide. That's Griffin. who shows a bit of class to maintain composure and kick the
great
ball.
mark.
And a strong mark to Tommy Tarrant, who, of course, and actually ruled not a... It has been ruled a mark. Tarrant, of course, won a premiership with the Panthers last year.
Not these Panthers.
The Morningside Panthers of the Queensland competition. He kicks down the clubroom side, at the foot of Mills, goes past him right with the spin, gets the hand mask to Warren. Warren needs to pick it up and get on quickly. Doesn't do so. He's wrapped up, thrown over the sideline, and that'll be a throw-in just south side of attacking centre wing on the clubroom side.
Okay, throw-in taking place. The rain continues to fall down here at Noarlunga and the wind gets stronger. In it comes, the throw-in, it takes place King in front over the top as they do a lot with Hay, but it comes out to South Adelaide this time. It comes out to the player for South, and that is right. Gets a hurry kick up the full forward area, but no one's there, just all Central Districts, and off the Hyde relieves the pressure. Gives it over to a teammate there, and that is Slade. Slade comes up to the centre of the ground and finds Quinton Graham. He's going to reel around onto the right foot. He's got his teammate there in Hopwood. Finds that player. Hopwood's got Ware running for him. Gives it to the right player wearing the right boots. Ware goes up the long kick in front, though, but good spoil. Over the back there is Downs. Can he run on to Carey? Does so. Comes out to Cochrane. Suffers the ball off the ground. That's another goal to Cochrane. That's another goal to the Doggies. That's Cochrane's third. They've certainly made something out of nothing there. 16 goals, 8, 104. They lead South Adelaide 5-1. 31. That's on the Magnets for Life scoreboard. Let's quickly go back to the studio and get scores from all around the ground.
Sturda 9-6-60. They lead Norwood 4-10-34. Collingwood 14-13-97. Lead Richmond 12-10-82. And Fremantle 14-12-96. Lead Carlton 8-8-56. And fellows, as we come back to it, Noarlunga, I missed your question. I was turning the air conditioning up here in the studio.
We're just looking to find how many goals Grant Chambers has kicked, because Chambers coming in was on 40. Shell currently on 42 in the race for the Ken Farmer medal. The ball up goes up, the ball comes down, and the practice ends like there's free money in the mud.
Probably a heater in there.
It's going to be another ball up.
Jason Buckets McKenzie coming on for Paul Scholar, so changing the ruck there.
And Buckets McKenzie, a favourite of the crew here and of the footysa.com website. Don't forget, for all your SANFL news, footysa.com, as the mark comes out for South, right down the lap of Quinton Graham, who spins around and he's off and running. A long kick towards Cowan. Bennett at the back, got first use, has time to pick it up, comes to Wilson. South have gone backwards, but now they'll go sideways as the kick heads out there. And that, I think, was for Saunders, but too wide. And it's a throw-in in front of the RPH outhouse.
This is vast becoming very embarrassing for South Adelaide.
It is, yeah, and Ben Wilson really just needs to work on his skill level a bit coming out of defence.
That was always the criticism of him at Nord, and yeah, we've seen that again in South Adelaide recently today.
Okay, the ball comes in. Tyson again over the top, knocks the ball towards Richard Cochrane, comes out to South Adelaide through the numbers there. Clinton King's got the ball. He reels around, has time to have a bounce, loses it in the bounce. Luck to fortune, though, he's been tackled from behind. That'll be holding the ball. Good chase and a good tackle. And that was Cowan who's done that to the central side. They'll get a lot of pleasure out of that. Comes up to Shell. Shell can't take the mark, but Ben Wilson does. He gets a handball over towards his teammate there, and that player couldn't take it, and that was Jackman. Central's back in there. Smith gets it over towards Chris Gowan, steals it, gets it over towards Shell. Bennett forces the ball out, comes out this time, and South Adelaide will relieve the pressure through Jackman. Runs out to outside 50, looks up board, can't see anybody in particular, goes to the long kick to no one in particular, but Tarrant comes in from the side and does take the mark. So Tommy Tarrant now rules around. He's got no one outside the centre square to kick you, so he's got to go right across the ground. And coming in there this time, Lux of fortune, because it comes out to Hall. He rules past the player, rules around on that left foot, goes in long. Can South Adelaide take a mark here? Yes, they can. And that player there is Footner. And Footner's already kicked the goal so far this game, and he will go back from around about 20 metres out and have a shot on goal.
Yeah, Footner just his 7th game of league football. Won an under-17 premiership as captain at Langhorne Creek, the Mighty Hawks. Probably the most successful Hawks.
Come up with all this
Probably
stuff.
the most successful Hawks team in recent times, eh, Smithy?
Oh, don't get smart.
Anyway, comes in now for his 2nd goal at SANFL league level, and we'll wait and see. It doesn't look good. It isn't. It's a behind. South first score of the 2nd quarter. They're 5-2-32. Central's 16-8, 104.
Tom Tarrant out here on the wing. He's been impressive since coming on.
Yeah, at least he's providing a target. He's getting in front, and that was a good contest because the kick looked like it was going straight to the Central's player, and Tom Tarrant came over the top and attacked the ball really hard.
Okay, also Hyde to bring the ball back in for the Doggies. Kicking with probably a 5 or 6 goal breeze now, decides to go straight down the centre of the ground, which is not a bad thing to do. It bounces in the centre square. Cochrane picks it up, rules it around now. One kick, and it's up to half forward. Chris Gowns in front, takes the mark. No, he doesn't. Good spoiling there from Bennett from South Adelaide. Gowns still in front, fights pretty hard for the ball, as he does all the time. Comes out this time, South Adelaide through Hall, pick up the ball, comes back inboard, and there's any number of players around the fall of the ball. The umpire has no hesitation in saying, give it to me, boys, and we'll have a throwdown here between the centre wing and half forward. Outer side of the ground, the South Adelaide side, 5-2-32. They trail by 62 points. Central 16 goals, 8-104. The ball comes back in play in there, socking the ball off the ground. Jimmy Gowns leads in the race. The ball, no, comes up the top, quick sock off the ground again, goes to the point of the square. Shells in there, gets the ball.
Cowan with a kick towards the goal square, but Wilson is there, and South should clear this one pretty easy. Comes across to Walton. Walton's done fairly well in defence for the South Adelaide this afternoon. Finds Webb. Webb is on centre wing, club room side in front of the Brolly Brigade here at the Noarlunga Oval. He finds Warren. Warren now with a long kick, looks towards inside 50. The pack goes to it, and a good strong mark opposed to Hall, and that was the youngster in Shannon Hearn. And in fact, Hall's efforts after the mark gave him a little tap on the head as a reminder that he's playing league footy. Reminder with a 25-metre penalty.
Scott Webb off with what looks like to be an ankle injury, and Andrew Carey coming to the ground.
Okay, the ball to the outer side of the ground. It is socket off the ground by Quinton Graham. Goes about 20 metres along the boundary line, and a run will take place deep in that outer centre wing area on that outer side of the ground here at the Noarlunga Oval. 135 plays 141 on the Magnets for Life scoreboard, as we see the Double Blues kick another goal. So they're 11-7, leading Norwood 7-12 at the Unley Oval. In comes a throw-in. King's in there, but also is Buckets McKenzie. A hurried kick forward by South Adelaide, but it is just all Central District, and that the ball beats all and sundry over the